Action! Hi!
It's me, Nicole again, and we're back to another educational vlog that talks about ICT. Without further ado, let's get started!
Making effective presentations or using color effectively. These are the topics that we're going to discuss in this vlog. First is the color basics, then the page layout and the preparation, text and typography, graphics, graphs, tables and charts, and presentation techniques and tips. So these are the color basics of the computer display. The colors are red, green, and blue. It also pushes light through screen. So for the printed page, the colors are cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. They also mix tones and reflect colors from white page. So this is the color wheel. The color wheel consists of primary colors and secondary colors. The primary colors are magenta, yellow, and cyan that are found outside, while the secondary colors are red, blue, and green that are found inside that combines adjacent primary colors. Color temperatures. Color temperatures have cool colors and warm colors. Cool colors like blues and greens are used for background, while the warm colors like reds and yellows are used for foreground elements. So these are the examples of color temperatures. As we can see in the left portion, we have here good, which has the color of yellow that is used for foreground elements and blue for background. We can say that it is good because this shows warm foreground color on a cool background color. On the right portion, we can see that yellow color is used as a background, which is supposed to be a foreground element, while the blue is used as a foreground element, which is supposed to be a background, so it's poor. So this is actually poor because this shows cool foreground color on a warm background color. Contrast. So for contrast, greatest contrast should be primary colors while the least contrast should be secondary colors. So for an example, the left portion is good because this pair of primary colors has good contrast, while the right portion is poor because this pair of secondary colors has poor contrast. So for complementary contrasting pairs, secondary should be added to primary colors because that falls opposite on the wheel. For example, the yellow and blue combined or contrast together has greatest light or dark contrast, while the red and cyan that are contrasted together has greatest cold or warm contrast, and the magenta and green contrasted together has the most vivid contrast. Considerations. In your presentation, if you have greater contrast, it will give you energy, clarity, and sharpness, and if it has too much contrast, it will give you confusing and overwhelming presentation. Also, if your presentation has lower contrast, it will give you soothing and subtle presentation, and if you have too little contrast, it will give you boring and bland presentation. So for the color associations and meanings. Red means vibrancy and energy. Green means growth. Blue means serenity. Purple means royalty. Brown means earthly. White means purity. So these color associations can also be connected to national, cultural, religious, and holidays implications. So there are two types of page layout. First, we have the landscape that is in the left portion, and we have portrait that is in the right portion. So the landscape page layout is used for electronic presentation, while the portrait page layout is used for transparencies. So for the prominence, the first slide should be the most prominent, while the last slide is the next prominent, and the middle slides are the least prominent. Point order. The point and title will receive the most attention, The subsequent points will receive lesser attention, and the final point will receive almost as much attention as the first point. Text considerations. Margin width should be 1.5 in each side. If you margin your presentation 1.5 in each side, your presentation will look clean. Single concept per page. One slide should only consist of one topic because if you have many slides in one topic, your slides or your presentation will be boring and some audiences will not listen to you. Concise phrases. Beware of using complex words because it will make your slide hard to understand. Example: use the word like instead of along the lines of. 7x7 rule. Your presentation should follow 7x7 rule, which consists of 7 words and 7 lines, like this example that is shown in front of you. Parallel construction of lists. Always observe proper grammar and know the proper usage of verb, noun, pronoun, and etc. Lastly is the spelling. Always check the correct spelling because that greatly affects your presentation. Double check your presentation if you have misspelled words. Typography. For the size, body text should have a minimum of 24 points, while the title text should have a minimum of 44 points. So for the fonts, you should use Arial because it is easy to read. Do not use fonts that are cursive, like Snell Roundhand because it is harder to read. So for the type, you should use sans serif because it has no feet. Do not use serif because it has feet, because if it has feet, it is harder to read. Typography in general. For the alignment, the left alignment is used for body and titles, while the justify is used for none. So for the abbreviations and acronyms, you should always be careful in using them because it has a lots of meanings. For example, the acronym of PE. Is it pulmonary edema or physical education? We don't know what it is, so we should always put the meaning of an acronym. So we have graphics. There are two types of graphics. We have the standard and the personalized graphics. So this is an example of standard and personalized graphics. We have here standard graphics, which is starred and overwhelmed, and we have this personalized graphics, which is fresh and memorable. So for the first portion, we should always use the right size of a picture or a clip art. And for the second portion, we should always use pictures or clip arts that are visible through our eyes. So for the third portion, we have different options to make our clip art or pictures beautiful. It can be normal, or you can put any shadow of it, or you can have it in 3D form. And now we have the graphs, tables, and charts. For the charts, always use clean lines, complementary colors, sufficient color contrast, and explanatory key. So for pie charts, we should always create pie charts that build focus to the user's attention to key components. So for tables, we should have additional space between lines and cleaner formatting. So for PowerPoint presentations, template choice should be not busy. Transitions should be left to right, top to bottom, or minimal. Timing should be sufficient to read. And for backup, plan for technology glitches. Black screen means focused attention. And now we have the tips and techniques for the presentation. For finishing presentation preparation, we should know the number of transparencies. We should mount transparencies in frames. We should have blank transparencies and markers, and we should always prepare handouts. If we are at presentation location, we should always check equipment function and location. Also, sit in corners to test views, focus projector, locate room outlets and switches, tape loose cords, and square presentation slide. And during presentation, we should use laser pointer or pen on overhead, face your audience, block future points, dim, don't turn off lights, and darken lights over front of room. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you.
That's it for my video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Goodbye! Oops! Before I end this video, please check my brother's YouTube channel. The link will be posted in the description box below. Goodbye!